Game on, motherfuckers. My name is A.O. Storm, and it is time for another Etiquette For Aholes podcast. A podcast where we talk about a-holes, we talk about your hashtag a-hole, we talk about tweets you send to E4A, at E4A, at E4A. We take 10-15 minutes, talk about what's going on, talk about who's being an a-hole, and get on with our days. It's a fun little community. Join us. Listen. Agree, disagree. Be the place you vent. That's what we're here for. We also have books on Amazon. Just check out Etiquette For Aholes on Amazon. You can borrow it from people for free. It's cheap, whatever. That's the ad. That's what we do. That's where the podcast came from. No other sponsors, no other ads. That's it. That's the pitch. That's why we're here, see? Less than a minute. Now we can talk about other stuff. Fun stuff. Well, not today fun stuff, but necessary stuff today. I really know how to sell it, don't I? Today we're talking Black Lives Matter. Hashtag Black Lives Matter. Because, goddamn, it's terrible. I mean, it's... What is going on, people? It is sad. Of course they matter, first of all. Of course they matter. As in this, for whatever reason, is apparently a bad thing. All lives matter. People dying tragically and senselessly is sad. No matter the case, no matter the circumstance, it's horrible. It impacts the people that it touches for the rest of their lives. It's devastating. People dying unnecessarily is devastating. There's no way around it. Yes, Black Lives Matter. Yes, all lives matter. How about you two hashtags stop fighting about it and we actually get into something a little bit, maybe, and really try to address something instead of just talking, which ironically is what we're going to do now. But still, I don't think coming from the angle, well, first of all, to tie, it's black people dying at the hands of police, specifically, is where the Black Lives Matter. Which I think it's kind of, everyone's uncomfortable around police. All you have to do is look at a bunch of people driving on the freeway the speed limit, and you know a cop is there because everybody's asshole puckers up tighter than the ducks. Anytime you're driving and you're near a police officer, I mean, isn't it universal? What does everybody do? Not just black people, everybody. Radio down, get the speed down to the speed limit, and we use our turn signal, and we're all afraid to move, we're just waiting for him to get off the exit, and then we start a traffic jam. That's what police officers do when they drive on the freeway. They start traffic jams because everybody freaks the fuck out. I know that's not nearly the same as what we're talking about, but the point is everybody gets uncomfortable around police because police have dominion. They have authority. They can do something to you that impacts you, whether or not you think it's fair, and that sucks. It's not fair to immediately be near another human being that could adversely impact your life. Who's comfortable around that? But let's move past that. Let's move past that discomfort and get to another part of it, which is anybody trying to contribute or discuss it. Well, you're not black. You don't get it. You don't understand. True. You're coming from a different perspective if you are black in America. If you are black in America, you have a uniquely different experience than a white person in America, than a man does, than a woman. All the fun we like to discuss about the differences in people that we're supposed to love as a melting pot. We all have different perspectives. But I'll tell you what, I'm willing to bet that the person that invented the tampon, probably a white guy. I'm going to bet probably a white guy. And not only that, he probably couldn't relate to the problem he was solving. I would imagine. He was used to being around people who had periods. He didn't have a period. But I'll be damned if he didn't come up with a solution that made him a pile of money, but also improved the lives of the people trying to deal with having a period. Go ahead and tweet me, tell me I'm wrong, but I'm fairly certain that based on when the tampon... I could be wrong. I'm going to bet it's a guy. I'm going to bet it's a white guy that invented it, maybe a team of white guys. But anyway, go ahead and draw on that analogy, because I think it's accurate. I think it's pretty damn good. They solved a problem. So I think it does a disservice to the conversation you're trying to start by hiding behind the you just can't understand. Okay, then what are we doing here? What's your goal? What are you trying to accomplish? You think that people can't understand that it's terrible when a person is killed tragically? Because we can. That's pretty universal, except for sociopaths. When someone close to us dies unnecessarily, it hurts, and we don't understand it. That's universal. So I know it's not the same as what the daily experience is to be black in America, but we can understand what it means to have people die unjustly. So let's move past the you can't understand discussion. There are aspects of this that we can understand. We can understand that it's people dying tragically at the hands of police. I can understand that it's the result of altercations with police. That much is also clear. That these people are getting into altercations with police. And it's having a terrible outcome. And those two things are true, right? I don't think we can disagree on those points. So where does it come in? There are many complex factors that have led to the current state of policing in inner cities, in black neighborhoods versus white neighborhoods, the dichotomy, the disparity, however you want to parse it. There is very much at play here. But that's overwhelming. Are we going to try to move the inertia that is the system? Are we going to try and fix that individually? Not going to happen. Don't hold your breath. That can't be the solution. Trying to fundamentally change ingrained systems all at once. That is a Herculean task. Are you going to try and fix the fact that there are just flat out shitty cops or a-hole cops? No. You can't do that. You can't ferret that out any more than you can anybody that's a shitty mailman or a shitty teacher. You can do pretty well, but you're not going to catch them all. It's just not going to happen. There are shitty people out there, and they need jobs, and they get jobs. So let's understand that they exist, too. So we're going to try and move past that. Okay, so what can we do? Well, what can you take ownership for? What can you teach people how to handle themselves in situations? I mean, from the police side, what can we root for? Let's root for small victories. You know, I think more non-lethal yet effective tools. I don't know what that means, but I know there's many weapons developers and companies out there that make oceans of money making weapons for war. I'm sure they have many products that would be effective in this instance. Maybe they're expensive. I don't know, but there's a solution. That's something to work for on the government front. Anyway, we're getting off topic. Okay, so let's take personal ownership then. Let's look at this from that perspective and try to own what can we fix? What specifically can the black people fix? The black Americans of Black Lives Matter. There's a different view towards police. I'm not saying it's not earned, but fuck the police is not a good thing to teach kids. It's just not, because what's the goal? What's the plan? To have you're teaching kids to grow up having disdain for people that automatically have dominion over them and have weapons. Where's the upside? Yeah, I'm not saying that they're doing great in the community, but where's the upside? How has that worked? How far has that gotten things? Is the plan to get police out of the community entirely? I don't think that's working out so well in Baltimore right now, is it? Not having police at all? You need police around. You may not like having police around, but the mentality of fuck the police and ingraining that into a culture is not yielding great results. I think many data points would agree with that. So if your interactions with police are going to be negative, but they're always going to have a weapon, why leave it up to chance? Why decide to get into it? Why engage? What's the upside? Is the upside you're going to kill the cop? Is the upside you're going to get away? Okay, but what's the downside? You get killed? You get arrested? You get a felony? Those are some big negatives. And they're negatives for a reason, so that's not a good plan. So what could be a good plan? And I don't have a solution, but hell, let's have a conversation instead of just hashtagging and getting in protests and moving on. start to use social media as a way of civil protest. If you're getting stop and frisked, you're telling me we can't have somebody set up a Twitter handle or a Facebook that is nothing more than an aggregator of all the bad police interactions that are happening in the black community that they're frustrated by? You're telling me you can't have someone go into the community and actively say, hey, when you're pulled over, when you're stopped on the street, and there's no reason and there's no cause, and you feel that it was unnecessary, tweet us, email us, tell us your story. We will track it. We will put it together. We will do it for you. You're telling me that there's not a group that can do this? There has to be groups. There's plenty of lawyers out there that would love to step up and represent a class action lawsuit against the deep pockets of police departments. So we can't. Why isn't that an option? I'm not saying that this doesn't exist or that it doesn't suck. I'm saying, why not teach people to maybe be respectful and just take it. It sounds terrible. Take it. But when they pull you over, be polite. Do all that. Then pass it along to somebody who can help you do something about it. And that sucks. That's not going to feel that good. But you're not going to die. Even if the cop is a dick or you feel like it's unnecessary, you're not going to die. So, how about that? That sounds like a better plan than nothing, right? Because to simply just have a hashtag and protest and say Black Lives Matter and and do stuff, you start arguments and you give fodder to the news cycle on podcasts like me. You don't accomplish anything, though. John Lennon is famous for saying, end war. Yeah, that's dynamite. Man, what a strong position. Peace. He's in favor of not going to war and people dying. Ballsy. What was his plan? How did that work out? Did he have a plan that would actually work? Or anything other than just being against war? What a jack-off stance to take. Of course you're against war. That's fine. That's easy. That's an easy way to get brownie points without doing anything. Black Lives Matter. That's what's going on right now. Nothing's changing. You're not offering solutions. You're not offering realistic solutions. End war. How did that work out? We're still having wars, probably ramping them up. So let's try something new. Maybe the social media thing, the more I talk about it, is a great idea. Somebody get on that. And try respecting the cops, even though it sucks. Even though it's terrible. Even though you want to fucking flip out and do what has ended tragically so many times. Don't. Take it. It sounds terrible. But take it and aggregate it and begin to police the police. And get the data, because they're not going to do it themselves, so you find a way to develop it. Pull it together, pull the stories and experiences together, and present it and say, this is fucked up. Because you may not like the discomfort that comes from, air quotes here, respecting cops, but a little discomfort sounds a hell of a lot better than another tragic and senseless death. And I don't care what color you are. I think that is a good play. That's it. That's AO Storm. That's Black Lives Matter. Get mad at me. I don't care. But the things that are happening right now aren't fixing anything. Until tomorrow, this is AO Storm, reminding you to be a good person.